Sunlight was just starting to slip through the cracks in the curtains. Gina barely noticed as she worked, studying endless reams of data, a dozen holographic screens around her, casting their faded green light over the layers of paper notes on the table. The furniture store employee had not been the originator, the shadow moving over him 5 years before he passed it on. It had been alive for centuries, hundreds of hosts. Not all had died, and few had gone into a coma. It had brightened her mood considerably when she found Argus. He had carried the shadow 2 centuries ago, slipping into a coma for almost a year, before finally waking. But the joy had been short-lived. Argus was gone, the shadow taking over his body completely, killing Argus's wife and brother before disappearing entirely, from his own life at least. The shadow lives longest in bodies that experienced a coma, typically living out much of the body's lifespan before moving on. She was now searching data more than 8 centuries old. It had become much harder to follow trails, slowing her progress, but she had learned a lot, new skills in data analysis and computer searches being the least important to her. She had learned a great deal about the shadow. It only infected uplifts. The only ones that went into a coma were Landau's uplifts, the same type as her and Anar. There were millions of Landau's uplifts among the billions of uplifts in the system. Plenty of prey. The shadow was a killer, not just driving hosts to suicide, but taking bodies and gleefully killing others. Over its life, it had taken male and female hosts, changing its MO dozens of times. But nearly an unbroken line of hosts lay before her, a single shadow stretching through time, from some distant century to this very day, still locked away in Anar. The doctors had moved Anar to a V-secure hospital for long-term care, preventing Anar from having any access to the virtual or high bitrate data connections. So the shadow was trapped in Anar's body, at least until it wakes from the coma. The shadow hated that. It always preferred to have access to the virtual, forcing hosts' minds to open connections and lower defenses, so it could freely move on when it saw a better host. Mars was certainly not as fertile as Earth for long-term hosts, though. The Landau method, not used on the Martian uplifts, being one of the oldest methods, it had been replaced as the common method before Mars was terraformed. Earth was the most abundant source of Landau's uplifts, and that was where her search was now, in the depths of the 26th century. She had worked through the night. As the thin streams of sunlight began to strike her, there was a deep rumbling sound from her belly, a reminder that she had not eaten in more than a day. Pausing her work, Gina ordered food from her kitchen printer. It would take half an hour to print, so she continued her search until it was done, only getting to her feet when it was ready. The food printer had been a great buy. It ensured that she was eating more than cold canned chili. It was able to print over 1,000 meals, most were even served hot. The good nutrition had helped her feel better, but she did not eat frequently, having lost more than 5 kilos, though the shine of her fur had returned. Before returning to her seat, she flung open the curtains, causing the holoscreens to be washed out for a moment, the house soon upping the gain to return them to useful status. Gina opened the patio door and moved outside, taking her chicken stir-fry breakfast in the garden. The morning sun cast streaks of clouds in a brilliant orange glow. The eastern exposure of the garden and lounge giving her a front row seat for the dawn. Breakfast finished, she returned to work, reading reports and file sizes, searching for the next link in her chain. The splendor of the morning passed quickly, drifting ever closer to noon. It was around 10 in the morning when she first yawned, but she was quicker to stop than a season ago, soon saving her search and heading for the bathroom. She had finished in the bathroom and was preparing to sleep when the doorbell rang. It was a sound she didn't hear very often these days, only when she decided to order out, or on Saturday when her auntie would come and complain about how she lived her life. Pulling a robe over her pajamas, she headed for the front door. She didn't go out much herself, usually only once or twice a month, so the front door area was a bit messy. With a few kicks, she cleared the doorway before opening it. Beyond the door was a cat uplift, huge in size, too large to enter the building at all. Gina wasn't exactly tall. Fox uplifts are rarely more than 120 centimeters, the entire house built for the smaller stature of her species. This cat was more than twice her height, looming over her and blocking the sun from her eyes. The giant purple cat had a soft smile about her face, a loud engine-like purr rumbling from her body. It seemed to warm the air around her.
Gina Marshall, my name is Miss Lily, and I think we can help each other.